The world felt strange on the day hope died. The sky was too quiet, the roads were too empty, and even the wind sounded weak. People in the human colony knew something was wrong, but no one wanted to say it. Fear was already heavy in their hearts. Every family stayed close together, waiting for news from Earth. Waiting for a voice that never came. In the middle of the colony lived a young boy named Aaron. He was only 12, but he understood more than most adults. He listened to the radio every night, searching for signals from Earth. But now the radio made only one sound: silence. Aaron sat outside his small house and looked at the sky. He wanted to believe that help was coming, but deep inside, he felt something breaking. His mother stood behind him. "Aaron, come inside," she said softly. "It's getting cold." Aaron did not move. "Mom, Earth is not answering." What if they are gone? She wanted to lie. She wanted to tell him everything would be fine, but she had seen the reports. She had heard the last messages. Earth's defense line had fallen. No ships had returned. No messages had been received. So she stayed quiet, and her silence told Aaron the truth. At the same time, far above their planet, alien ships kept moving like shadows. These enemies had destroyed dozens of human colonies. They attacked without mercy, and they always came back to finish what they started. Rumors said they hunted humans for sport. Other rumors said they feared humans too much and wanted them destroyed forever. That morning, the alien army returned. It began with a low hum. Then the ground shook and people ran outside. Giant alien warships appeared like dark clouds. There, red lights glowed through the sky as they spread across the horizon. The colony alarm started screaming. Soldiers grabbed their weapons. Children cried. Everything became noise and panic. Aaron watched the sky with wide eyes. He had never seen the alien ships this close before. His mother grabbed his hand and pulled him toward the underground shelter. People rushed in from all directions, pushing, shouting, praying. The colony commander spoke through the speakers, his voice strong but scared. "All civilians get to shelter. Do not stay outside. Soldiers move to defense points. We don't know how long we can hold." Those last words shook everyone. "We don't know how long we can hold." Inside the shelter, Aaron sat with his mother and listened to the explosions outside. The whole room vibrated. Dust fell from the ceiling. Babies cried. Mothers held them tight. Some men closed their eyes and whispered goodbye messages, not knowing if anyone would hear them. An old man in the corner whispered, "Earth is gone. We are next." No one corrected him. No one had the courage. After many minutes, everything suddenly became quiet again. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that felt dangerous. Aaron stood and moved toward the metal door. His mother tried to stop him, but he shook his head. "I hear something," he said. "What is it?" A soldier asked from across the room. Aaron pressed his ear to the cold door. "Something in the sky," he whispered. "But it's different, not like the alien ships." The soldier frowned. "Different how?" Aaron swallowed hard. "It sounds heavy, like something falling." The soldier slowly opened the shelter door, just enough to look outside. His eyes widened. His hands shook. The room fell silent as he whispered one sentence. That made everyone stand up. "They are falling from the sky." But they are not aliens. People pushed forward to see. The sky, which had been dark with alien ships, now glowed with bright white trails. Dozens, then hundreds, of objects were dropping down through the clouds, surrounded by blue fire. "What are they?" someone asked. The soldier's voice cracked. "I don't know, but they look human." Aaron felt a spark of something he thought he had lost forever. Hope. Because whatever was falling from the sky did not look weak. It looked strong. It looked ready. And the alien ships were suddenly turning away. As if they were afraid. Something was coming. And it was coming for humanity. The world outside. The shelter was still shaking when the bright trails continued to fall from the sky. No one knew what they were, and fear mixed with confusion. The soldier who opened the door stood frozen, staring upward. Aaron moved closer, trying to understand what he was seeing. The sky looked alive, filled with glowing blue streaks cutting through the darkness. Inside the shelter, people whispered to each other. Is it another attack? Are those bombs? Is this the end? No one wanted to say the word hope. Again, they were afraid to believe it. They were afraid to be wrong. In the corner of the shelter, a communication officer named Rhea worked on a broken radio device. She was one of the last trained operators left in the colony. Before Earth went silent, she had sent hundreds of distress calls. None had been answered. But now something strange happened. The radio made a faint sound. Rhea looked up sharply. The sound repeated, like a heartbeat. She quickly adjusted the knobs, her hands shaking. Aaron and a few others ran to her side. Is that Earth? Aaron asked. Rhea did not answer. Her eyes were wide, her face pale. She pressed the device closer to her ear and listened. The sound grew stronger, sharper, more alive. Then it happened. A voice, a real human voice. Colony. Hold position. Repeat. Hold position. Earth command returning. Rhea gasped. The entire shelter went completely silent. People held their breath. Mothers clutched their children. Every single face turned toward the small machine. Aaron's heart pounded so hard he felt dizzy. Earth command? He whispered. Rhea replayed the signal. The voice was weak, broken, like someone speaking through a storm, but it was unmistakable. It was a human commander. Earth command to all surviving colonies. We are coming. Hold position. Protect civilians. Prepare for retrieval. Tears filled Rhea's eyes. She dropped to her knees. They're alive. Earth is alive. Everyone started talking at once. Some cried, some laughed, some shouted in relief. The heavy darkness inside the shelter cracked open. It felt like the first sunrise after a long winter, but the joy lasted only a moment. The radio cut out again, and the ground above them exploded. The shelter shook violently as alien weapons struck the colony. People screamed and ducked. Lights flickered. Dust rained from the ceiling like snow. Rhea held the radio tightly, praying it would survive. The attack. They heard the signal, the soldier said, his voice tense. The aliens know humans are returning. They want to finish us before help arrives. Aaron stepped back, fear returning. The ground shook again, harder this time. A hole opened in the shelter roof as metal bent and cracked. More explosions followed. The screams grew louder. Suddenly, the soldier shouted, "We have to move. The structure is collapsing." Everyone rushed to the exit. Aaron grabbed his mother's hand and pulled her forward. But when they reached the open field, they froze. The sky was on fire. Alien ships circled aggressively, shooting at anything that moved. Human soldiers ran across the colony ruins, trying to lead civilians to safety. But something else caught Aaron's eyes. Those bright trails from the sky. They were no longer falling. They were landing. In the middle of the battlefield. A glowing pod hit the ground with a loud blast. Dust exploded outward. The aliens turned their guns toward it. The pod door hissed. Everyone waited. A figure stepped out, armored, tall, glowing, human. The aliens opened fire instantly. But the bullets bounced off the warrior like raindrops hitting steel. The armored human raised his arm, and his suit lit up with deep blue light. Then he moved. So fast no one could track him. He slammed into the alien squad, throwing them like broken dolls. His fists glowed with heat. Every step he took shook the ground. Another pod crashed nearby, then another, and another. Dozens of armored humans appeared, each one stronger, faster, and more deadly than anything the colony had ever seen. Aaron couldn't breathe. These are Earth's warriors? The soldier beside him whispered, "No, these are not normal soldiers. These are something new." Rhea looked at the sky with trembling hands. Earth did not fall. Earth prepared. The last signal from Earth had not been a call for help. It had been a warning. We are coming. And now they were here. The battlefield turned silent for a moment, as if the whole world was holding its breath. The glowing armored humans stood tall in the dust, their suits humming with strange blue light. The alien troops stared at them in disbelief. These were not the weak, unprepared humans they remembered from old wars. These were something else. Something impossible. Aaron stood near the broken shelter door, unable to move. His mother whispered his name, but even she could not look away from the armored giants who had crashed from the sky. Suddenly, the sky cracked again, this time louder, deeper. As if space itself was breaking open, everyone looked up. A huge tear of light formed above the colony, stretching across the clouds like a wound. From inside that tear, gigantic shapes moved. Not pods this time. Something bigger, stronger. The aliens panicked when they saw it. Their ships shifted out of formation. Some even turned away, trying to retreat. Aaron felt a chill run through his body. What is that?" he whispered. Rhea, the radio operator, wiped dust off her face and stared upward with wide eyes. "It's a gate," she whispered. "A jump gate, made by humans." The sky gate expanded until it covered half the colony. Lightning-like energy crackled around it. Then a massive shadow appeared inside the glowing opening. A battleship, but not any battleship, a human one. Its armor was black, shining like obsidian stone, marked with a silver emblem shaped like a rising star. It moved with such power that the alien ship shook violently, their engines struggling to stay airborne. The sight of the human warship filled the colony with awe and fear. The aliens opened fire at once, hoping to destroy the ship before it completed its descent. But the human battleship activated its shields. A huge blue dome formed around it, swallowing every attack. Laser beams melted on contact. Missiles exploded harmlessly. The aliens realized too late that nothing they had could even scratch it. "Aaron," whispered, "Earth sent a battleship?" The soldier beside him swallowed hard. "Kid, that's not just a battleship. That's a Titan-class war carrier. They said only one of them existed, and it disappeared years ago." The colony ground trembled as the Titan-class ship descended lower and lower. When it finally hovered above the field, giant doors opened on its underside. Metal platforms dropped down like elevators. And on those platforms stood even more armored warriors, hundreds of them. The aliens panicked completely. Their formations broke. Leaders screamed orders. Ships tried to flee, but the sky was already closing in around them. The human warriors on the ground raised glowing weapons that hummed with deadly energy. The battle began again. One alien ship swooped downward, aiming its cannons at the human colony. But before it could fire, a warrior jumped straight into the air. No rocket, no wings, just raw power. He crashed onto the ship's hull with such force that the metal caved inward. Sparks flew. The ship spiraled and crashed into the dirt. People in the colony gasped, some covering their mouths in shock. Another alien squad fired at a different warrior. He raised a circular shield on his arm, deflecting every blast. Then he slammed his shield into the ground, sending a shockwave. That knocked every alien soldier off their feet. The armored humans moved like storms fast, powerful and unbreakable. Rhea whispered, "They trained for this." They knew the enemy would come again, and they prepared. Aaron couldn't look away. A warrior approached, removing his helmet. His face was covered in scars, but his eyes burned with fierce determination. He looked at the civilians with a calm, steady stare. "You are safe now," he said. "Earth never abandoned you." Tears filled Aaron's eyes. The fear inside him melted away, replaced with something warm and strong. But the moment of peace did not last long. Another explosion shook the ground. People screamed. The human warriors turned sharply. An alien supercarrier was descending from the far side of the sky. It was enormous, even bigger than the human Titan-class carrier. Aaron felt his heart sink. There are more of them? The human warrior put his helmet back on. This was only the beginning. The enemy brought their strongest ship. They think they can stop us. His suit lit up with electric blue energy. They're wrong. The sky gate above them pulsed again, glowing even brighter. It was clear now. More human forces were coming. The sky was no longer something to fear. It had become humanity's weapon, and the real war was about to begin. The air buzzed with energy as the human warriors formed a protective wall around the colony. Their armor glowed like living metal, the blue lights on their suits pulsing with each breath they took. Even standing still, they looked like storms waiting to be released. The civilians stared at them, struggling to understand how humans had changed so much, or how they had become so powerful. Aaron held his mother's arm tightly as he watched the closest warrior. He was taller than any human Aaron had ever seen, almost 7 feet, and his armor looked thick enough to stop a tank. The warrior surveyed the area with calm, sharp eyes, as if nothing around him could surprise or scare him. Then the sky rumbled again. The alien supercarrier, larger than mountains, descended through the clouds. Its shadow swallowed the battlefield. Alien sirens echoed. Troops rushed out like insects spilling from a hole. Their glowing weapons pointed toward the human colony. The human commander stepped forward. He was different from the others. His armor was darker, heavier, and decorated with silver markings that looked ancient. Lines of soft blue light ran down his chest like veins of lightning. When he moved, the air around him shifted. Everyone fell silent. Even the aliens paused. He lifted his helmet off. His face was rough, scarred, and strong like someone who had never lost a fight. His eyes were sharp and filled with something powerful, not just courage, not just anger, purpose. He looked at the terrified civilians first. "We came back for our people," he said simply. His voice carried across the field like a command from the heavens. Aaron felt those words hit his heart. His mother covered her mouth with her hand, tears filling her eyes. Then the commander turned toward the alien army gathering in the sky. "You should have left them alone," he said. His warriors formed lines behind him, lifting their glowing weapons. A heavy silence fell. Even the wind stopped moving. The alien supercarrier opened its lower gates, preparing to fire, but the commander raised his hand. A shockwave burst out from his armor, creating a dome of pale blue light around the colony. The alien cannons fired, sending giant energy beams toward the humans. But every blast hit the dome and spread across it like ripples on water. Impossible. An alien soldier hissed through its translator. The commander lowered his hand, and the shield faded. "My turn." Human warriors sprinted forward, moving like living lightning. One jumped onto a nearby building and then launched himself into the air, landing on top of an alien gunship. His glowing fists tore through the metal. The ship exploded. In midair, another warrior raised a weapon shaped like a spear. When he threw it, the spear split into dozens of smaller lights, each one targeting an alien drone. They fell like sparks from the sky. The aliens began firing wildly, trying to stop the unstoppable wave of armored humans, but it was no use. The warriors moved too fast, hit too hard, and refused to fall. Aaron watched in awe. "Mom, they are winning." His mother squeezed his hand. "I never thought I would see humans like this." The battle grew more intense. The alien supercarrier released ground troops, huge armored creatures with 4 arms and glowing red eyes. They roared and charged toward the human lines. The commander stepped forward again, his armor glowing brighter and brighter. He activated something on his wrist. A surge of blue energy spread across his suit. Then he spoke one more line. "Warriors of Earth, advance." The human warriors roared in response. Their armor lit up fully, glowing like stars. They smashed into the alien beasts with the force of meteors hitting the ground. The earth cracked beneath their feet. Aaron felt the ground shaking beneath him. But this time, it was not fear. It was strength. Rhea, still holding the half-working radio, whispered, "These warriors, they're not just soldiers, they're something new. Something Earth created in secret." Aaron stared at the commander with wide eyes. He looks like he trained in a place worse than any battlefield. The commander moved like a storm, cutting down alien creatures with swift, precise strikes. Every blow shook the air. Every step pushed the aliens back. He didn't fight like a man. He fought like a force of nature. But then the alien supercarrier charged its main cannon. The glowing red beam aimed directly at the colony. If it fired, everything humans, civilians, warriors would be gone in seconds. The commander looked up. And his eyes narrowed. Not today. The alien supercarrier's main cannon glowed brighter and brighter, turning the sky blood red. Everyone on the ground felt the heat building above them. Even the human warriors, strong and fearless, paused for a moment. They all knew what would happen if the cannon fired. Aaron clutched his mother's arm. "That blast, it will destroy the whole colony," he whispered. The human commander looked up at the massive ship without fear. His armor crackled with blue light, reacting to the rising danger. His warriors formed around him, ready to defend, ready to die if needed. But the commander lifted a hand, signaling them to hold. "Focus on the battlefield," he ordered. I will handle the cannon." His voice was calm. Too calm. He activated something on his chest plate. Lines of glowing light spread across his armor, running like rivers under the metal. The air around him thickened with raw energy. Then he ran. No. He launched. The ground beneath his feet cracked open as he shot upward like a missile. Civilians gasped. Alien soldiers screamed in panic. Even the human warriors turned to watch their commander blaze through the air like a rising comet. Aaron could barely see him. Just a streak of blue fire cutting through the sky. "He's flying?" Aaron whispered. A nearby warrior answered without turning his head. "The commander does not fly. He overpowers gravity." The alien supercarrier reacted too late. It fired smaller cannons first, trying to shoot the commander before he reached the main cannon. But he moved faster than the blasts, spinning and dodging like a streak of lightning. Every hit he avoided made the aliens more desperate. Their ships changed formation. Drones swarmed around him, but nothing stopped him. Nothing slowed him. "He's going to reach it," Rhea breathed, her hands shaking. Down on the ground, the human warriors fought with renewed fury. They defended the colony while watching their leader climb toward the sky, each of them knowing that their fate hung on his. Success. Alien beasts charged again, but the warriors met them with unstoppable force. One slammed his shield into the ground, sending a shockwave that shattered enemy armor. Another jumped onto a giant alien creature and tore its weapon apart with his bare hands. Their suits glowed brighter with every hit, as if powered by the commander's courage. Meanwhile, in the air, the commander finally reached the mouth of the massive cannon. It was enormous, glowing like a sun about to explode. The alien captain saw him on the monitors. "Fire now." He roared. The cannon lit up. The commander roared back. He thrust his hands forward, and his armor unleashed a wall of blinding blue energy. The blast collided with the cannon's red beam in the sky, forming a giant sphere of swirling light. The entire battlefield froze. Everyone watched as the red and blue energies clashed, shaking the world with thunder. Lightning shot across the Clouds, the ground rumbled. Dust rose in waves. Aaron covered his ears as the sound grew louder and louder. He can't hold it. He can't. But the warrior beside him simply said, "He will." The commander pushed harder. The blue light from his suit intensified until even the alien soldiers had to shield their eyes. Slowly, painfully, the red beam began to bend back toward the super carrier itself. The alien captain screamed in horror, "Stop him! Cut the beam! Turn it off now!" But it was too late. With a final thunderous shout, the commander unleashed everything his armor had stored. The blue energy surged forward, slamming into the red beam and breaking it completely. The cannon backfired. The explosion was massive. The entire sky turned white. The shockwave hit the alien supercarrier first, ripping its armor open, tearing its engines apart, and splitting its structure into burning fragments. The rest of the blast expanded outward, shaking the clouds like a storm. On the ground, the human warriors formed shields over civilians, protecting them as the air trembled. When the light finally faded, the supercarrier was gone, nothing but falling debris and fire. Aaron stared upward, unable to speak. The commander fell from the sky, smoke trailing behind him. His armor was cracked, glowing weakly, but he was alive. Human warriors rushed forward and caught him before he hit the ground. Civilians cheered. Some cried. Some dropped to their knees in relief. Aaron whispered, "He saved all of us." But the commander opened his eyes slowly and spoke in a weak voice. "This battle is not over. The enemy brought their strongest ship." He looked toward the far horizon. "But something older is coming." Everyone turned. Massive shape appeared in the darkness beyond the clouds. And it wasn't alien. It wasn't human. It was something no one had ever seen before. The battlefield fell into a heavy silence as the mysterious shadow moved through the clouds. Even the wind slowed down. The alien soldiers stopped shooting. Human warriors tightened their grips on their weapons. Civilians held their breath. No one knew what was coming, only that it was enormous and powerful. Aaron felt a deep fear inside his chest. "Mom, what is that?" His mother shook her head slowly. "I don't know, but it's not alien." Rhea tried to adjust the radio device, hoping to get a clue. But the machine only made a low buzzing sound. It could not understand what was approaching. The human commander, even with cracked armor and weak breath, stood up slowly with the support of his warriors. His eyes locked on the sky. The shape became clearer, now long, wide, covered in sharp angles, glowing faintly with silver light. It looked like a giant ancient ship made from stone and metal. One of the warriors whispered, "I have never seen technology like that." Another answered, "That's because it is not technology. It is something older." The ship descended gently, without the roar of engines or the fire of thrusters. It moved like it was floating through water, smooth and silent. Its presence alone made the ground vibrate. Aaron felt something strange, like the air around him had changed, heavy, important, alive. Suddenly, the commander whispered, "Phase 2. The warriors around him turned their heads sharply. "Commander." "You don't mean—" "Yes," he said. "We did not train only soldiers. Earth prepared something else." Everyone stared at him, confused. So he continued, "When Earth went silent years ago, we were not hiding, we were preparing. Training in underground cities, building ships beneath oceans, testing armor that could survive black holes. But there was one project more secret than all others." Aaron stepped closer. Listening with wide eyes, the commander looked up again. Project Origin. The strange ship stopped above the colony, floating like a silent guardian. Lines of silver light ran across its surface, forming ancient patterns. Then, with a deep humming sound, the ship opened a central gate. A beam of white light shot down from the opening. It hit the ground gently, like a column of moonlight. The ground did not burn. Instead, glowed out of that glowing light. Something stepped out. A human, but different. He was taller than even the commander. His armor was not metal, it looked alive, like it shifted with his breathing. It was silver white with blue lines running across it like veins. His helmet opened slowly, revealing a calm face with bright blue eyes. The warriors immediately knelt. "Sir," they said in one voice. Aaron grabbed his mother's arm. "Mom, who is he?" The commander, still standing, bowed his head. "The first guardian of Earth." Civilians gasped. The armored man walked forward, his steps quiet but heavy with power. When he spoke, his voice was gentle, but it carried. Across the battlefield like thunder, "I am Orin, guardian of Earth, protector of humanity, keeper of the origin code." The aliens shifted nervously, unsure if they should attack or run. Orin looked at the destroyed colony, the broken buildings, the injured humans, and the dead alien machines. His face remained calm, but his eyes filled with quiet anger. "You attacked our children," he said softly. "You hunted our people. You believed Earth was weak." He raised his hand. The ground around him lit up with blue symbols, ancient, powerful, and unfamiliar to anyone on the battlefield. "You were wrong." A shockwave spread out from his feet, rolling across the field like a wave of light. It did not hurt humans. It passed through them gently. But every alien it touched froze. Their machines shut down. Their weapons died. Their ships lost power and dropped from the sky like stones. Orin lowered his hand again, and the wave stopped. The aliens screamed in fear, scrambling to escape, but their bodies would not move. Rhea whispered, trembling, This is not technology. This is something else." The commander nodded. "This is what Earth discovered. Something older than every alien empire. Something hidden on our planet. For thousands of years." Aaron looked at Orin with awe. "How did Earth find him?" The commander replied, "He was not found, he awakened." Before anyone could ask more, Orin turned toward the warriors. "Prepare for final defense," he said. "Because the enemy you see now is not the true threat." As he spoke, the clouds behind him twisted, creating a giant hole of darkness. Inside that darkness, eyes opened. Not human, not alien. Something far older. The real enemy had finally awakened. The sky turned darker as the giant eyes inside the clouds opened wider. They were not shaped like any human or alien creature. They were too large, too ancient, too full of cold intelligence. Even the aliens, frozen by Orin's wave, trembled. In fear, the human warriors tightened their stance. Civilians stepped back but could not look away. Aaron felt his legs shaking. What is that?" His mother held him close, her voice barely a whisper. "Something old, older than anything we know." Orin, the first guardian of Earth, stepped forward slowly. His white-silver armor glowed brighter, reacting to the presence above. "Origin has sensed your arrival." A deep, echoing voice spoke from the sky. "The last children of Earth stand before me." The commander looked up sharply. "So the legends were true," Orin nodded. "This is not an enemy from the stars. It is an enemy from before the stars," civilians gasped. The warriors exchanged shocked glances. The dark shape in the clouds began to push through, revealing a monstrous form made of black mist and shifting claws. It did not fly like a ship. It did not move like a creature. It flowed like a storm with purpose. Rhea held the broken radio tighter. "How do we fight something like that?" Orin spread his arms. "Together." Blue lines spread across the ground again, forming circles of ancient code. Human warriors stepped into the glowing patterns automatically, as if they were trained for this moment long ago. Their armor lit up brighter, fusing with the symbols beneath them. Aaron watched with awestruck eyes. They are charging." Up, the commander stepped into one of the circles. His armor, already cracked and damaged, pulsed with new light. His injuries began to heal. The blue lines stitched into his suit like veins coming alive. Oren looked at him. "Are you ready?" The commander nodded. "Always." The monstrous entity in the sky hissed, "You children of Earth cannot change fate." Oren raised his hand. "We already did." The sky exploded with blinding blue light as Oren shot upward, moving faster than the human commander had earlier. His body became a pillar of shining energy, heading straight toward the ancient being. The commander and the other warriors followed. Launching from the ground like streaks of fire, the battle in the sky began. Oren was the first to strike. His glowing fist slammed into the creature's dark form, sending ripples of light across its massive body. The creature responded with a storm of black tendrils, but Oren dodged them with impossible speed. Behind him, the commander led the human warriors, each one shining like a star. They attacked together, hitting the creature from all sides. Every strike caused explosions of blue fire and shadow. The sky roared with their battle cry. On the ground, civilians watched with wide eyes as flashes of light and darkness clashed above them. The earth shook. The air crackled with ancient power. Aaron grabbed his mother's hand tightly, unable to look away. "They can win," he whispered. "They can actually win," the creature screamed. It sent a blast of darkness toward the colony, aimed at the civilians. But Oren broke through the storm and placed himself between the darkness and the people. His armor exploded with white-blue energy, blocking the attack completely. He shouted back at the creature, "You will not harm them." The human warriors pushed harder. The commander charged through swirling shadows, his armor glowing like a burning star. He reached the creature's core and thrust his hands inside the massive darkness. "For Earth!" He roared. The creature howled in pain. Its body began to tear apart, light breaking through the cracks. Oren joined him, placing his hand on the glowing wound. The sky turned white as the two forces, ancient guardian and human warrior, combined. "Their power, now!" Oren commanded. The human warriors unleashed everything they had. The explosion was silent. A flash brighter than the sun filled the world for a heartbeat. Then darkness. Then calm. When the light faded, the monster was gone. The clouds parted. The sky became clear for the first time in years. The battle was over. Humanity had won. Oren drifted back to the ground gently, his armor dim but still glowing. The commander landed beside him, exhausted but alive. The warriors returned with quiet pride. Civilians rushed forward, cheering, crying, shouting thanks. Aaron ran to the commander and hugged him without fear. "You saved all of us." The commander placed a hand on the boy's head. "No, we all saved each other." Oren looked at the horizon. "The galaxy will remember today," he said. "The day humans changed their fate." He turned to the Jungda people, and this is only the beginning. Humanity rises again. Aaron smiled for the first time in a long time. Hope was no longer lost. Hope had returned from the sky, armed, powerful, and unstoppable.